Looking into the next characteristic of living things have a lifespan. Means they have a particular, a certain lifespan, fixed lifespan. And means their average lifespan is more or less known. You can easily say an animal or a plant, they can live, how much years they can live. Means from birth to death. Okay, what is the time period? Usual time period. That is called as lifespan. Different organisms have different lifespans. So some organisms have a lifespan of only a few minutes. For example, see the table there, bacteria lives only for around 20 minutes. After 20 minutes it dies. It takes birth, lives for some 15-20 minutes and dies. Whereas a dog can live up to 14 years. Correct? See, different things have different lifespan. Whereas when you look at the example of tortoise, it has a very long lifespan of around 120 to 150 years. Some trees live for even more number of years. Trees can live up to even to 400-500 years. Living things are made up of cells. Next characteristic is all living things are made up of cells. What does it mean? The plant body or animal body is made up of cells. cells, cells. A wall is made up of bricks. Bricks are called the fundamental unit of wall. Same way, animal body or plant body is made up of cells. So cells are called as functional unit and structural unit of life. Functional unit and structural unit of life. Structural unit means the body is made up of cells, and functional unit means whatever functions happen in the body, it starts from the level of cell only, like respiration, growth, reproduction, development. Okay, all these things happen from the cell level only. Some organisms or some animals or plants, they are called as unicellular. Amoeba and yeast. They are all called unicellular organisms. What is meant by unicellular? Uni means single, one. Unicellular means the amoeba or yeast, the body is comprised of only one cell. One cell itself is their body. Cell is very microscopic in size. You cannot see the cell with naked eyes. You need to use a microscope to see the cell. Because amoeba and yeast, they are made up of only single cell, so we cannot see them with naked eyes. You have to see them under a microscope. They are called as unicellular organisms. Whereas dogs, cats, human beings are examples of multicellular organisms. Multi means more than one. Many cells are there. How many cells are there? There are millions of cells in human body. In the body of a dog, in the body of a cat, there are millions of cells. 1 million means 10 lakh. Okay, so many millions of cells are there in their body. See, the fact file is given there in the book. Even a newly born baby, human baby, its body is comprised of around 20,000 million cells. 2000 million cells. 2000 into million. 2000 into 10 lakh. So many cells are there in a newly born human baby. Now coming to the difference between plants and animals. Hitherto we discussed difference between living and non-living. Here what we are seeing here is how are plants and animals different from one another. When you look at the nutrition, plants are autotrophs. Why do we call them as autotrophs? Because they can prepare their own food through the process of photosynthesis. Whereas animals, they are called as heterotrophs. Why do we call them as heterotrophs? Because animals, they cannot prepare their own food. Instead, they depend on plants or other animals for food. Locomotion means movement from one place to another. Plants, they do not move from one place to another, they remain fixed in the soil. Whereas animals exhibit locomotion, very clear movement from one place to another. On their own, they can move from one place to another. Next characteristic is growth. Do plants grow? Yes, plants grow. Throughout their life, they grow. They grow throughout their life. Whereas animals, they grow only up to certain age. After that age, they stop growing. Reproduction. Plants reproduce. What is the mechanism of reproduction there? They reproduce through seeds, spores. Some plants reproduce through stem, some plants reproduce through root. Okay. So there are different ways of reproduction in different plants. There are different types of reproduction seen there. Coming to animals, animals reproduce either by producing eggs, laying eggs, or by giving birth to young ones. Mammals give birth to young ones. Birds and reptiles, they lay eggs. Birds like ostrich, hen, they lay eggs. Mammals, they give birth to young ones. Reptiles also lay eggs. Snakes lay eggs. Lizard lays eggs. Okay. Excretion. About the mechanism of excretion. In plants, plants expel out, means they excrete waste in the form of water. Excess water vaporizes through the stomata of the leaves. Gases, means carbon dioxide is thrown out in the process of respiration. Secretion, plant secretes the waste in the form of gum, in the form of latex, or in the form of sap. Coming to animals, animals give out waste in the form of urine, sweat, exhalation of carbon dioxide, and excretion of feces. Feces means stools. Coming to respiration, how is the respiration in case of plants? In case of plants, gases are exchanged through the stomata of the leaves or from the plant body surface. Exchange of gas takes place. In the process of respiration, oxygen is taken in, carbon dioxide is given out. In the process of photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is taken in and oxygen is given out. Because for the process of photosynthesis, the plant requires carbon dioxide. So it takes in carbon dioxide, prepares food and gives out oxygen. So in the process of respiration as well as photosynthesis, the plant shows exchange of gases. How does the gas exchange happens? It happens through the stomata of the leaves and through the body surface. When you come to animals, exchange of gas takes place through, in mammals it takes place through lungs. For example, human beings, breathing and respiration happens through lungs. Whereas in case of fish, they don't have lungs, instead they have gills because they have to take oxygen from water. There is some amount of oxygen dissolved in water. Fish takes oxygen from water. That is why they need gills. They have gills instead of lungs. Insects, in case of insects, they have spiracles. Spiracles through which spiracles are the organs through which they respire. Some animals like earthworm breathes and respires through the body surface. Exchange of gas happens from the body surface itself. So these are the differences between plants and animals. Thank you.